Many thanks for joining me again on Debbie's Grill, where we talk on matters that concern the state, issues of relevance, devoid of fear or favor. Now, the African Development Council is calling for a full-scale investigation into what it described as a wanton abuse and neglect of state resources under the Akufo-Addo administration. In a statement on May 27th, the council expressed an outrageous anger, and then it called it reckless by former government officials who, instead of using existing state infrastructure, opted for personal gain at the taxpayers' expense. So the ADC, which is the African Development, has noticed with great concern that the level of recklessness in terms of abandonment of state machinery by the previous regime on the altar of self-aggrandizement, the statement read. So this is basically from the African Development Council, and they are calling on the current administration, specifically the oral team, to investigate into state money or taxpayers' money that has been projected into a particular project for development. And at the end of the day, we saw nothing. And you see, this is something that really worries me a lot. Not only about the previous government, but even successive governments that we've experienced in the country. Party A starts with a project, and then he or she couldn't complete it. And when Party B comes into power, they neglect it. And then they bring up a different initiative, pump taxpayers' money into it. At the end of their fourth term, they also fail to complete it. And then when Party C also comes into power, they also neglect it. They will bring in their initiative, pump taxpayers' money into it. And then at the end of the day, it becomes a total waste. No one is being arrested. No one is being questioned. And then we allow the money to flow just like that, forgetting that it is the taxpayers' money. The developmental project you are bringing on board is not for Party A, it's not for Party B. In as much as you belong to a political party, but then you are in for the people. And so whatever developments you bring on board is going to favor citizens, not your political party. And I will say this have started even all the way through Nkrumah's time to now. Because there are some factories that was even built by Kwame Nkrumah. I can remember the pencil factory. It has now become a hub for smokers. A lot of factories that have been built by the first president of this country, it has been left to rot. Because I don't belong to that party. And even if I finished it, I won't be given any accolade. It will be given to the previous administration. And you see, this mentality is actually drawing us back as a country. And we are seeing no development. We are actually seeing no development at all. Before the previous administration came into power, Mahama started with a project. He started with e-blocks. He built some, and some he couldn't complete it. The Saglame housing project. Even with that, I was told they were done. That building has been left in the bush to rot, while citizens struggle for accommodation. You see, it's very, very sad. And you see, accommodation is one of the things that is eating deep into our money. Because you won't go and rent a house and then the landlord will give it to you 6 months or a year. Now they are taking 2 years advance. So if you have to pay 2,500 a month, you will be paying like 6,000 in 2 years advance, which is 6,000. Imagine you don't have that money. An affordable housing project that was brought up by the Mahama administration was left to rot. Although the previous administration, with the E-block, they completed some. They also launched some, but they didn't complete all. And now we have the current administration on board. I'm looking out if they will also complete some projects that were started by the previous administration that they couldn't complete. This is not about politics. This is about the development of the country. Imagine those factories that was built up, but by the then first president of this country was maintained, fully completed. Like, I'm not sure we'll be where we are now. We would have moved far. But as it stands now, we are lacking behind. Our growth has been retarded as a country because we are refusing to take certain things into consideration. And because we don't really understand politics in this country, we tend to do anything just like that. How on earth can you, say that because a project was started by Party A, and so I'm not going to complete it because I will not be recognized? Does it really make sense? It doesn't make sense. Because at the end of the day, if that project is fully completed, it's going to be in favor of both Party A and Party B, members of Party A and Party B, and they are all citizens of this country. And that is what we are failing to realize. The earlier, the better for us. So now that the African Development Council are calling on, Operation Recover All Loot, to ensure that projects that were started by the previous administration and they were not completed, they should look into it and ensure that the monies are refunded. Well, we are waiting to see if we will get a solid outcome from this. Because it's very painful. Very, very painful. They'll bring out a project and they'll tell us this is the kind of money they are pumping into this particular project. But at the end of the day, we don't see it. We don't even see it at all. But the money has vanished. Like the previous government, they said they want to introduce SkyTrain to, ease congestion when it comes to we having to get wherever we want to go with vehicle. And you see, introducing rail system was one of the best. And even with our common railways, we were not able to maintain it. But they said they were bringing SkyTrain. And an amount of money was pumped into it. Up to now, we haven't seen the SkyTrain. Whether it is still in their dreams and they are yet to manifest it, we are yet to know. We didn't see the SkyTrain. The money has vanished. And the person involved yesterday has been granted a bail. And the case has been adjourned to 10th June. You see, this is our problem as a country. And we will be so much disappointed in this current administration if all these people are not arrested and prosecuted. And the money that has been pumped into all this project, if they are not refunded to the country, then trust me, all politicians are equally the same. Because the amount of money that have been pumped into the SkyTrain, it's not something small. No. The National Cathedral, a promise you made to God, we suffered for it at the expense of the taxpayer. The National Cathedral has now become a manhole. We are quiet. That's fine. They brought out Agenda 111. They told us that out of the 111, they've built about, 19%. But when we got on grounds, we realized that even out of that 90%, 50% was not completed. They kept quiet. One district, one factory. They pumped money into it. Up to now, I haven't seen any factory in my locality. You see, we bring out nice this Agenda 111 policy, what initiative was a very good one. We pumped money into it, we can't see it. And it has become a norm. It has been normalized that any government that comes into power, you don't have to complete a project that was started by the previous administration, which is very bad. See, it is about time we realize that the money you are pumping into those projects are for the taxpayers. They are not from the pocket of politicians. And this is why we have become handicapped in our own country. So I kept asking myself, 90% of our leaders travel outside. When you're reading about their profile, PhD in Harvard University, masters in other universities in the Western world, and then they come back and they impact nothing. So I asked myself, what at all do they go there to learn? Is that how they govern their system there? They start a project and they don't finish it. In as much as they don't rule like the way we do. But then do they start a project and they don't finish it? We need to be careful and take certain things into consideration. So to Operation Recover All Loot, please, there is a lot to do. Trust me, Ghanaians will be very, very disappointed if at the end of the day, none of these people are prosecuted. None of them are jailed. Then I think the worst is about to happen. We've seen what is happening in other African countries. Ivory Coast is now ruled by military. And I understand the fact that, I've now get to understand the fact that democracy is not good for us. So please, Operation Recover All Loot, there is a lot to do. Arrest them, prosecute them. If not, then we Ghanaians will have to think about a different alternative. Thank you for making time with me on Davis Grill.